something that you know now that you wish you knew earlier on when you started?
Okay. So something that's very important is don't just work on something because it might be a good idea, right? This is something I've realized as well. Um, it should be a problem that ideally, you've actually had a connection to. So, startup is not the same thing as working 9 to 5, right? Because you actually have to go, above and beyond, actually build this out. So you have to be personally invested in solving the problem. If it's a problem that you say, okay, I know other people might have it, I don't really care too much about it, but you know what, let's try it out. It might work, right? It might work fine, but the level of kind of commitment and motivation that you have to solving that problem or finding out a greater solution is not the same. So I think being kind of personally invested, having this problem that you've experienced personally, really kind of like make the difference in terms of like motivating you, keeping you on track to kind of solving that problem. Another thing is like being wary of like who you start a startup with. Like I said before, it's not the same. Like, oh, it's my friend. I've known him for years. Yeah, sure. Let's just start it up. No, like you have to actually understand, how they think and whether you'd actually be aligned to work together. So that honestly, it will require a few like kind of like you'll try out, it might not work, and just learn from your mistakes, right?
Yeah. Um, so what is one of your failures in the past? I know you've mentioned not working well with teams, but what's something else that is a failure in the past, and what did you learn from it?
Okay, so I guess like kind of I I left a startup not because there was a startup I was working on like a year ago or so, and I had left it because the kind of like my previous point, it was not something I was too interested in.
Hmm.
Um, so like we had worked on this product, and at that time I was like kind of like, okay, yeah, that's pretty interesting. And then we want to kind of move into another product, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is not something I'm really interested in. I actually like the team a lot. Actually, like these were the people that I built Dime with, or some of them, and so we had that connection, that relationship, that cohesiveness. But I thought that at this point in my time, I do not think it's worthwhile to work on something that I was really not interested in at all, just for the sake of kind of building it out, right?
Hmm.
So I guess I learned from that somewhat.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it's also double-sided too, right? When you're working on something that you're not passionate about, it's actually unfair to the people that you're building it for, right? Because you won't have their problems at heart, you won't have their experiences at heart exactly, right? So, um, you have to kind of, first of all, it's not fair to yourself, but you also have to understand it's not fair to the people that you're building it out for, right? So here I have another question for you. What advice would you give to someone who is interested in building out a startup?
So I think first thing is kind of like this is very important, and you already mentioned that. I want to add on to what you said was that like it's not fair for the product because like you have all these assumptions of like what this customer wants, but you're making assumptions. So even like okay, you can talk to users and stuff, talk to customers, but like it's still not the same, right? And so the product will definitely suffer. So kind of like what we're going on, like this is a very important point I feel is work on something, like work on a problem that you actually have, you're interested in, you're passionate about, and ideally one that you personally invested, you struggle with, right? It will help you keep moving forward. But again, like you said, it will help you actually understand what the customers want. Second thing would be to validate first. So a lot of times people have a great idea they think in their head, they're like, oh, this is amazing. Why would no one like everyone's gonna want this, and then like they realize that actually no, they're just building it. They think it's great, right? So validation is extremely important. A lot of times people struggle with this. You should talk to customers, talk to your target customers, be like, yo, what do you think? Don't okay. So the way you talk to customers is important. If there's something called like a mom test. So it's kind of like when you pitch something to your mom, she's probably gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it's a good idea," even though it's not, right?
Mhm.
So this mom test is made so that you're able to kind of like talk to your mom and see if she likes the idea or believes in it without like kind of like having that bias of her being your mom and actually gonna tell you it's great. So the way you do this is kind of like just kind of ask them questions about a specific problem that you're solving and how they deal with it. From there, you can derive insights, and that relates to your solution, right? So you don't start off like, hey, I'm gonna build this. What do you think about this? Right? So we're gonna be like very biased. Let's talk about like, hey, have you ever had this problem before? And they're like, yeah. Like, oh, how do you deal with it? What's your thought process? Right? That allows you to kind of like have that actual accurate insights from the user. So that validation is very important. And then I guess the third thing would be um, the team thing is very important. I can't express it enough. You have to actually know who you're going into business with, and it's very important that you kind of know beforehand that you guys are a good fit in terms of just business, not just friendship. Yeah, so I guess those would be